Hello, friends, nonprofit leaders, thought leaders, business leaders that are supporting our community charities and our religious organizations. Welcome to episode number 417 of the Nonprofit Exchange. I'm excited about the guest I have today, Brian Biro. So, Brian, without me saying a whole lot more about it and just spoiling the surprise, you're going to talk today about breakthroughs, life-changing lessons from the legends. But before we get into the topic of the day, we want to know a little bit about who you are. So please share that, sir.
Well, thank you so much, Hugh. It's a blast to be with you. You get an award. You did Brian Biro's bio without messing up. Very well done. I'm called America's Breakthrough Speaker, and I'm a professional speaker. I've actually had three careers, all wonderful careers. I loved each one. My first career, I went to Stanford University a very long time ago. We won't mention any years. It was 2 years after they invented the wheel. I studied psychology and English. What a combination! To put myself through Stanford, along with megalones, I started coaching and teaching swimming. And that was my first career. When I graduated from Stanford, I became a United States swimming coach, which I did for about a decade, and I loved it. Had great joy, great things happen. 44 of my kids are in full college scholarships. I won the United States Swimming National Coaching Excellence Award. And I probably would still be a swim coach if I had a life. And so the first big lesson I got in my career was I want some balance in my life, some rhythm in my life. All I knew myself was as a coach. So, Hugh, I'm the only person you probably have ever met who went to graduate school to get an MBA, but really to get a life instead of a job. And I really did. And my second career was in my corporate career. I ended up becoming a vice president of two pretty large companies. Had a great time. My last company was in the transportation industry. I was vice president of what we call performance planning. We had an incredible turnaround. That's where I started doing team building. But I didn't really care a whole lot about transportation. I cared about people. And so at the peak of this transformation in our company, I said to my wife, honey, we're doing great. Let's quit. I want to go do this. And that's when I became a professional speaker, which I've been doing for 35 years. So I love it. I love to get people to break through from fear to freedom, from failure to faith, from ego to ego, and from good to great. Had the opportunity to speak to almost 2,000 different organizations all around the world over the last 35 years, and I can't wait to do more. So that's my background, although I always try to keep in perspective. As you see on my signature line, it says Brian Biro, husband, father, grandfather, speaker, author. I always want to keep my priorities straight.
Oh, that is so inspirational all by itself. Brian, what do you want to leave people with? You've certainly inspired us. So now what? What do you want to leave people with? A challenge or a thought or what?
Well, I think the most important words I've ever written, Hugh, say this: say, the love we fail to share is the only pain we live with. And how do we live pain free? And the most important principle, I believe, of all that I teach is to be fully present. Now, what does that mean? When you're fully present, 100% of your mind, body, and spirit is with the people you're with where they are now. And it's so important because I believe that our job as parents, as leaders, as human beings comes down to one thing above all. Our job is to help the people that we lead, that we serve, that we love to know they're important, to know they're significant, to know they matter. Because when people feel important, they rise to that oh yeah spirit. When people feel unimportant, they give up, they quit, they act out. And the only way you can truthfully deliver that message that you're important in every precious moment is by being fully present, because you can't fake being present. People know instantly if you're really there with them or not. And when you are fully present, you go beyond words to help them know that they're significant and they matter. So if you want, I encourage everyone to try this. Pick out two people in your life, one at work, one at home. For the next 30 days, you commit to be more fully present with. Doesn't mean you have to spend more time with them. You have less time. But when you're with them, put the cell phone down. Do something you so brilliantly said on this show. Ask more than tell, and then listen before you formulate your response. Most of the time we're not listening. We're thinking about what we're going to say. Take it in and then respond. You'll still be able to respond. All right. And you watch. After a couple of days, they're going to look at you different. They're going to go, you've been working out. You changed your hair. You're looking good. As you become more present with those two, you'll develop that muscle until it becomes who you are. Just remember, the past is history, the future a mystery, the gift is now. That's why we call it the present.
The present is a gift. Unwrap it and expect just the best. Brian, you've inspired me. I do this podcast for other people, but I'm the biggest beneficiary. Thank you so much for being our guest today and sharing your wisdom.
It was my absolute joy. I wish you the best, Hugh. You're doing great work. 417 down, and who knows how many to go.